Welcome to the Scenario Podcast, your guide to mental health and well-being. Each episode, we uncover practical tools, discuss expert insights, and explore how supplements can transform your mental health journey. Get ready to learn, grow, and thrive with us.
Welcome back to the Deep Dive. Today, we're tackling something that, well, feels almost universal now, that cycle, Long work hours, phones buzzing constantly, stress building up, and then the anxiety kicks in and suddenly you can't sleep.
Right. And the lack of sleep just feeds right back into stress and anxiety the next day. It's a really vicious loop.
Exactly. So many of you have asked us to cut through all the noise and find something reliable, something, non-invasive that actually works. So our mission today is to really explore the research on meditation. Can it be a safe, natural way to break that cycle, to find some balance?
Mm-hmm. And we've gathered some really compelling material. This isn't just about, feeling a bit calmer.
Yeah.
We're talking about moving meditation from this sort of abstract wellness idea into, a scientifically backed intervention.
Okay, but how? How does just sitting there, maybe focusing on your breath for a few minutes, actually change your ability to cope or to sleep?
That's the fascinating part. It's not just general calming down.
Yeah.
We're looking at how the practice triggers a very specific and powerful physical response.
Mm-hmm.
The core practice we'll focus on, especially for anxiety and sleep, is mindfulness meditation.
Mindfulness.
Yeah. And mindfulness, put simply, it's just the practice of focusing intently on the present moment.
Mm-hmm.
But crucially, without judging whatever thoughts or feelings come up.
So you're just observing.
Pretty much. The idea is to quiet that internal chatter, those racing thoughts that keep you staring at the ceiling at 2 a.m. or ramp up your stress during a busy workday.
That makes sense. So it's less about forcing your mind to be empty, which frankly sounds impossible.
Right, it is.
And more about giving your mind an anchor so those thoughts don't just drag you away.
Exactly. An anchor is a great way to put it.
Okay, so if that's the idea, what's actually happening inside us, in the body, in the brain when we do this?
It works through a really clear two-pronged process. So first, in the body. Consistent practice actually influences your endocrine system. It helps lower the levels of key stress hormones circulating around.
Like cortisol?
Exactly like cortisol. That's the main one. And lowering cortisol is critical because, that's the hormone keeping you in that fight or flight state. It makes real physical relaxation almost impossible.
Got it. So that's the body. What about the mind part?
Well, in the mind, meditation acts like systematic training.
Mm.
It teaches you to see anxious or negative thoughts for what they are. Just temporary mental events, not immediate emergencies you have to react to right now.
So you learn to step back a bit, not get caught in that loop.
Precisely. You create a bit of distance.
Yeah.
And these two things together, the physical hormonal shift and the mental reframing, they trigger what scientists call the relaxation response.
The relaxation response. Right?
Yeah, it's basically the physiological opposite of the stress response. And that directly leads to less anxiety and much better sleep, both falling asleep and staying asleep.
So it's an active reversal of stress, not just like passively chilling out on the couch.
Exactly. It's an active process.
But okay, here's a practical question. If I'm only committing, say, 10 minutes a day, is that really long enough to see a big change, like a measurable hormonal change, lowering cortisol? Or is it mostly the mental training part that's doing the heavy lifting initially?
That's a really sharp question. While the really deep, measurable hormonal shifts often build up with longer, sustained practice over, say, months, the immediate benefit, even in those short 10-minute sessions, seems overwhelmingly driven by the mental training component.
Oh, okay.
That repeated practice of noticing your mind wander and gently bringing it back, that strengthens the prefrontal cortex. That's the part of your brain involved in emotional regulation.
So you get better at managing your reactions almost right away.
Yeah, pretty much. And then the hormonal benefits tend to follow as a natural consequence of having a calmer, more regulated mind over time.
And the research, does it back this up strong? I mean, how does meditation stack up against treatments we already know and trust?
Oh, the evidence is quite compelling now. Multiple studies suggest that for improving sleep quality, especially for things like insomnia, meditation can stand shoulder to shoulder with established, very effective methods.
Like what?
Specifically, it often performs as well as cognitive behavioral therapy, CBT.
Which is that structured psychological training, right? Changing thought patterns.
Exactly. That's the gold standard for insomnia,
Yeah.
often. And also consistent physical exercise.
Wow. Okay, putting it alongside CBT and exercise really elevates it. That's not just a minor thing anymore.
It really isn't. It positions it as a robust, non-drug tool.
Okay, that comparison, especially to CBT, feels like a potential game changer in this deep dive. It means we should take this seriously, right? Like a real intervention, not just a hobby.
Absolutely.
But this immediately brings up the biggest hurdle for most people listening, myself included, time. We're already feeling overwhelmed, so do we really need to carve out hours every day to get these kinds of results? Results on par with structured therapy.
And that is the essential insight we pulled from the material. It's probably the most important takeaway for anyone listening who feels too busy for this. The benefits, the effectiveness of meditation, it doesn't just depend on how long you do it for.
Okay.
It depends significantly on the quality and the consistency of your practice, how focused you are.
Ah, quality over quantity.
Exactly. This totally flips the script on that common assumption that you need, an hour a day or these long retreats. The crucial nugget here is that short focus sessions where you're really paying attention are actually more effective than, say, sitting for an hour while your mind is just racing through your to-do list the whole time.
Right, because then you're just practicing distraction, basically.
You got it.
So no need to book that week-long silent retreat just yet, then.
Yeah, not unless you want to. But for these core benefits for anxiety and sleep, no.
Okay, so what is the sweet spot, then? Based on the research, what's a realistic, effective time commitment we should aim for?
It's surprisingly accessible. A focused daily practice of just 10 to 15 minutes is reliably shown to be enough to start seeing measurable improvements.
10 to 15 minutes daily.
Yep, both in anxiety symptoms and in sleep quality. And the timeline for feeling a difference is also pretty encouraging. Most people report feeling noticeably calmer, less anxious, and starting to sleep better within just a few weeks of keeping up that daily practice.
Within a few weeks, from 10 minutes a day, that feels doable. That's manageable for almost anyone, surely.
It really brings it into the realm of possibility for busy lives.
Okay, let's shift to the practical side then. Someone's listening, they're convinced, they're ready to commit those 10 minutes starting today. What should they actually do? What techniques work best to start?
Right. So for absolute beginners, probably the easiest way to start to overcome that initial feeling of, am I doing this right, is with guided mindfulness meditations.
Using an app or an audio track?
Exactly. You have a narrator walking you through the process. It keeps you anchored, stops you from feeling lost or wondering what you're supposed to be doing. And start small, 5 minutes even. Then maybe work up to 10 or 15 as you get comfortable and it becomes a habit.
That definitely lowers the barrier to entry. No need to figure it all out yourself immediately. What about techniques you can do without headphones, without a guide?
Yeah, there are a couple of core ones that offer immediate benefits. First up is targeted breathing exercises.
Just focusing on the breath.
Focusing on slow, deliberate breathing, often called diaphragmatic or belly breathing.
Yeah.
The mechanism here is almost instant. When you consciously slow down your breath, you actually force your body to activate the parasympathetic nervous system.
Rest and digest system.
Now that's the one. The body's built-in calming system. It rapidly lowers your heart rate, reduces that acute feeling of stress. And the beauty is you can do this anywhere, anytime you feel stress rising.
Okay, deep breathing. Got it. And you mentioned another one, something particularly good for winding down.
Yes, the body scan. This is a really interesting one. It involves systematically bringing your attention to different parts of your body, usually starting from your toes and slowly moving up to the top of your head.
And what are you doing as you focus on each part?
You're just noticing any sensations there. Warmth, tingling, tightness, especially noticing any tension. And as you notice it, you consciously try to release it to let it go. The material we looked at really emphasized that body scans are especially effective right before bed.
Why then specifically?
Because it's a very embodied practice. It helps shift your focus away from the racing thoughts in your head and reconnects you with your physical body. It shifts you from that active mental state into a purely restful, relaxed physical state, like an intentional shutdown sequence for the night.
A shutdown sequence. I like that.
Right.
So guided meditations, breathing exercises, body scans. The key seems to be picking one and sticking with it.
Consistency is absolutely paramount.
Right. Finding that quiet space, maybe setting a regular time, whether it's morning to start the day calm or evening to unwind, like you said, that seems crucial for making it stick and letting the effects compound.
Exactly. Build it into your routine, even for just 10 minutes. And it's also worth noting that the results really get maximized when you layer this onto other good habits.
Like good sleep hygiene.
Precisely. Meditation works best when it's part of a bigger picture, maintaining a consistent bedtime, maybe having a relaxing wind-down routine, avoiding screens right before bed, the usual suspects. Meditation enhances those.
Okay, let's pull the lens back a bit. We've focused heavily on anxiety and sleep because that's such a pressing issue. But what are the broader ripples? If someone establishes this practice, what else might they notice changing?
Oh, the effects definitely extend beyond just anxiety and sleep, significant as those are. When we look at the bigger wellness picture, regular meditation practice is strongly linked to things like increased overall life satisfaction. People just report feeling better about their lives.
That's pretty profound.
It is. And also, reduced symptoms of depression, a stronger sense of just resilience, being better able to handle the everyday bumps in the road.
Bouncing back faster?
Kinda, yeah. Less likely to get derailed by minor stressors. And interestingly, it often improves relationships too.
How so?
By fostering greater patience, more empathy, because you're less caught up in your own reactivity, you can often communicate better, listen more effectively.
That boost in resilience sounds huge, just being able to weather life's inevitable storms a bit better. But this brings up a really important point, almost an ethical one. Given how effective the research suggests this can be, standing alongside things like CBT, is this practice now potentially a replacement for, say, prescribed anxiety medication or seeing a therapist?
Okay, this is the crucial caveat, and we really need to emphasize this. The answer is generally no. You should always view meditation as a complement to professional care, not a replacement for it.
So it works with therapy or medication?
Exactly. It works incredibly well alongside those things. Often, it can enhance the benefits you're getting from therapy or medication, but it needs to be integrated responsibly. Always, always talk to your doctor or your mental health professional before you make any changes to your existing treatment plan based on starting meditation.
That's vital context. Absolutely vital. Okay, let's tackle one more thing. Maybe the biggest practical hurdle people hit after, day 3. They sit down for their 10 minutes, they try to focus on their breath, and their mind just won't shut up. It's loud, it's chaotic, thoughts are popping up constantly. Is that failure? Did they mess up the exercise?
Ah, yes. The noisy mind problem. This is probably the single most common misunderstanding about meditation. The goal is absolutely not to block thoughts or clear your mind. Honestly, it's impossible for most people, and trying just leads to frustration.
So what is the goal then when a thought pops up?
Think of your attention less like a perfect, unwavering spotlight and more like you're training a puppy. Every single time the puppy wanders off, just like a thought popping into your head, you don't scold it, you don't judge it, you don't get mad at it. You just gently, kindly, and without any drama, guide it back to its spot, which in this case is your breath, or the voice in the guided meditation, or the sensations in your body scan.
So the work is in the returning, not in staying perfectly focused.
Exactly. That gentle, non-judgmental act of noticing you've wandered and bringing your focus back is the meditation. That's the mental push-up. It's the repetition of that return over and over that builds the muscle of concentration and over time reduces the power of those anxious thoughts. Each return is a success, not a failure.
That reframes it completely. It's not about achieving silence, it's about practicing returning. Okay, so let's wrap this up. What does this all mean for you listening right now? We've talked about the draining cycle of stress, anxiety, and poor sleep, and we've explored a really actionable, scientifically backed way to start counteracting it. We've learned meditation, particularly mindfulness, isn't just vague wellness. It triggers real physiological changes, the relaxation response. It stands up surprisingly well against established treatments like CBT for things like sleep. And crucially,
quality trumps quantity.
Yes. That focused practice matters more than the hours logged. You can genuinely start seeing benefits with just 10 to 15 minutes a day.
Using accessible techniques like guided meditations, simple breathing exercises, or that powerful pre-sleep body scan.
It really positions meditation not as some fringe activity, but as a robust addition to a well-rounded wellness plan.
Yeah, a pathway to better mental and physical health by tapping into your body's own calming systems.
Okay, so here's a final thought to leave you with, something to mull over. We know the research shows meditation is effective alongside things like CBT and exercise. It complements them.
Right.
So what if, instead of seeing this 10-minute practice as another thing to squeeze into your packed schedule, what if you started viewing it as a potential force multiplier?
Interesting. How so?
Well, if you're already making time for a walk, or some other form of exercise, or even just a quiet cup of tea, How might adding a focused 10-minute meditation session right before or right after that existing habit actually amplify the benefits of both activities?
Ah, so you're leveraging the calm state, perhaps?
Maybe. Could turning this simple relaxation technique into something you consciously pair with other healthy routines make it a truly foundational tool, something that boosts your overall well-being exponentially rather than just incrementally?
That's a really powerful way to think about integration, turning 10 minutes into something much bigger, something foundational. Definitely food for thought.
Thanks for tuning in to the Scenario Podcast. Don't forget to visit scenario.com for more expert tips, articles, and supplements designed to support your mental health. If you enjoyed this episode, remember to subscribe and share it with a friend. Until next time, take care of yourself.